Good morning, YouTube. We was talking about some stuff the other day, and I just wanted to show off something that my dad had started me in the hobby when I was 5 years old. Snap-togethers and whatnot, and every now and then my uncle would come over. He would bring me some leftover parts from his stuff. This build here in front of you guys actually was my father's build, and he had built it from the original kit in maybe 64 or 5 or something like that. It was built for years in his own collection. He gave it to me as a birthday gift, and I proceeded to redo it and put my own standards on it. Now, my dad, he don't build anymore, but when he had the time to build, in the winters or whatnot, when he wasn't busy doing his day-to-day job, I'd have to say, not just because he's my dad, but knowing all the other builds I've seen other people do, my dad has to be one of the best out-of-box builders I've ever have come across to know. The way he can detail a kit and the way his builds were just straight out of the box, to me, was just, it was so, I didn't understand how he did it. And then growing up, he never taught me to build. He showed me to build, and he let me take my own route with it, and this is what I've done. I'll have to get up pictures of when I redid this one. This build in front of you, it's probably 12 years old. I probably built this one 12 years ago. It has Pegasus wheels on it. I've cut them up and shaped them myself. It's all paint. There's no decals. When my dad had it, it was a maroon color. It had 2 4s out of the hood, the little small wheels that come with it. The little small wheels that come with the kit. It was black interior, set up high in the rear end. It set up high in the rear end. It was a pure out-of-box build. There was no foil on it. It was just all paint detail, and the way, and just in such that this one here, I just got it because it was my dad's. I'd always looked at it and always loved it, and then once he gave it to me, I just proceeded to tear it apart, strip it, and then I totally redone it to what you guys see here in front of you. This is an original AMT 62 Nova. Like I said, the wheels were Pegasus. I cut and shaped them. Made it a 4-wheel disc brake car. The interior is all painted, detailed out. I put a floor shifter in there. It's got pedals in there now, because all these older AMT stuff was all molded in. It's got your voltage, water, and oil gauges there on the dash, and the dash itself was detailed up. It's got, see if I can get this to work right for you guys. It's all, I made the whole hood. The hood I made. A little bit of dust on there. The hood scoop is just all made out of plastic. The motor Got an electric fan. I drilled out the molded in headlights, and I made my own headlights for it. I drilled out, I sanded out all the molded in stuff from the original AMT screw kits. Then I added in all my own exhaust. Got traction bars. It's got a sway bar link in it now. The mufflers are resin. The exhaust itself and the exhaust tips are all aluminum tubing and solder. And like I said, my hobby started watching my dad just spend the time that he couldn't spend outside working on real cars on these. He always had a box full of models sitting in his closet, or we had actually one time a showcase. My dad has since started collecting die-cast, and you should see some of the die-cast. One of the best rewards I've ever gotten to give my dad was when this car itself came out in the 2004 contest magazine for model cars contest magazine in 2004. Never made the cover, but I did make the opening pages with this car. I'm gonna move this out of the way here, and here's the magazine. It's since seen some damage, you know, but I never got to make a cover, but I did. You open up the opening pages, and it did make it right there on the very opening pages, which to me that's close enough to cover just the small things that make some of us model builders happy. When you win a contest, your model kit sits in your room, and your awards usually just sit on the shelf. So to see your hard work in the pages of a magazine is just awesome within itself. And here's, you go back to the show contest. When you open it up, this green one was mine. This blue Honda Civic was mine. Those cars are long since been sold and the money put back into the hobby. But then you come over here to the next page, and there it is right there, and it made the pages, and it is just awesome to see your work on the covers of magazines. I've been published I think 14 times, I believe. So to me, that's my greatest reward, is to you know, because my trophies are only seen when you come in my hobby room, not when you come, you know, not anywhere else. I don't make videos of my awards or nothing like that. It's just sometimes, like, let me see if I could just show you guys. All these magazines here are where my work has been known to be in. A neat little magazine Dr. Cranky was showing some good reading material is if you're a lowrider builder, or even just want to enjoy the hobby. This magazine, Lism, is a magazine you got to go online to order it. It comes out a couple times a year. It is individually ran, but if you look, the coverage is top notch. When this gentleman put his mind and heart and soul to give a magazine dedicated to lowrider modeling, the pages ain't filled with propaganda, as I like to say. They're filled with excellent model cars. There's some great show coverage that he does, like this, you know, and it is privately ran. You guys can go online and find a couple of them, find a couple of the back issues and some of his current ones sitting in there. He's right now in the midst of running his own business from the ground up, so he's been preoccupied with getting out new coverage, but it's a great magazine, You guys need to get on there and check it out if you just want to see some great pictures. This 2-page spread right here is of another one of mine. I build everything. My main genre, I should say, would be lowriders. That's where I've gotten to express myself in my detailing and my paint, and just items like that came more natural to me than building a hot rod or factory stock or anything like that. There's a lot of new builders out there. You're not going to come straight to the hobby and be an all-out builder like you see Dr. Cranky and some of these other guys that you've seen on some of the more popular YouTube channels. It takes a lot of time. Like I said in one of my other videos, I'm 38 years old now. I got in this hobby at 5 years old, and let me tell you, I've had my fair share of glue bombs and paint disasters, and it's like, what the heck were you thinking? But you learn from those, and you gather those, and you gather your knowledge just like you're going to gather your parts, and your information that you choose to put to use is on you. Nobody can limit you in this hobby unless it's funding. I think that's the worst. That's the worst part of our whole hobby is funding. When you could take a built-up let me get this out of here. When you can take a built-up in this shape right here, and you can buy a kit like this at a model or hobby show, instead of looking at it as junk and a glue bomb, you can look at it as like, man, that's an opportunity to build something that I can't buy anymore. You don't overlook items like this, because it offers such a good subject. It's already built, but you could turn around, and this right here is a very well savable model. I will show you that I got that you could. This is totally what some people would look at, and they see something like this, and it gets overlooked because they don't see the potential in it. When in reality, they could turn out to be like this. They're the exact same kits. This one here was built almost 15 years ago. This right here was another one of my builds that I had gotten from my dad that I had redone. But when I've seen people at the show, I almost missed this little blue truck. I seen it in somebody's hands, and they were looking at it, and they put it down, and then a second guy picked it up and looked at it and put it down, and the seller at the show was wanting he only wanted $8 for that blue truck, and it was in 4 other people's hands before I got it, and I had to have it, and I seen it, and these people were overlooking the potential of it. And it's just, you gotta know that you can create anything you want, no matter what the kit subject is. You can build the same kit 20 times and not end up with the same build. Now this one that I'm holding was a built-up of my father's, and he gave it to me also as another gift on one of my birthdays, and it was like he knew he didn't have to worry about keeping me happy. All I had to have was model kits. I remember many of Christmases waking up and my brother having a computer and my sister having 4 Cabbage Patch dolls, and then I look over in my corner and I have 5 boxes sitting on the floor, which to some kids they'd be upset as like, why did I get what they got. And then when I opened up my boxes, I was more happy. Most of us as a child, we want and want and want, so we get it from our parents. They do what they have to for us, and you open them up on December 25th, and on January 1st you want something else new. My parents knew that I was still having fun March 31st. You know, I was still building and be able to do what I love to do. And it was back then, I know our pay rate was different, but back then a $5 model kit was something that I could go out and cut a few yards, and then my dad would take me up to our local hobby shop at the mall, and I'd spend my money on plastic model car kits. And I think this hobby has saved me from being into alcohol and drugs and doing stuff that, you know, that would have led me down a different road. This is just a great hobby for me. That's why I like to share with you guys so much. And others, I've seen a few new videos coming out, and like I said, don't get discouraged. It ain't always going to be perfect. Even I still have some paint disasters. That's why you have to pull your resources together and find out what it is that you need to keep your hobby going. And you know, sometimes it ain't always going to be available because of the funding and, you know, or the resources that you lack to build a certain kit. It just stay positive. Build what you enjoy. If you have 4 kits in front of you and neither of those 4 excite you, dig through it and find out what parts. Sometimes, man, I have a blast just going through, like, here's just parts boxes, and I'll have fun just going through them sometimes and piecing stuff together, like just collecting all my motor parts or all my interior parts. You know, you just got to stay with it. Just stay with it, man. It's such a great hobby and a great way to pass time. And now my 9-year-old, he's wanting into building, and you know, it started with my dad. I'm gonna lead it on to my children. It's just, you know, you guys, this is more than just picking up toys. These are so exciting to build and so enjoyable to show and share with you all. I just want to say thank you, and man, you guys spend a day or two when you're free. Just go check out some more builders. Thank you.